So, I know it seems crazy that I explored 8.2 with this super tiny roster, but it was a crazy experience, right? It was just so crazy, and it was difficult as well for sure because, like I said, this roster is tiny. It had, I believe, 3 rank 3s, 4 rank 2s, and then a 5-star Ascendancy GR, and that was it. Those are all my champions above, like, rank 1 6-star level, which is insane, right? But we still managed to fully explore Act 8 Chapter 2, and this was the final step towards Paragon. Now, confession time. This was recorded like almost a week ago. I have been really behind on this series, but yeah, this was day 23 or day 24 when I explored 8.2 and I got Paragon. So this was a long time in the making, but we finally have the episode for it right here. And I know what you're thinking. Paragon in 24 days, how is that even possible? Well, I'll explain that in a separate video, but for now, let's just enjoy these boss fights because, yeah, they were pretty annoying to deal with. Some boss fights were easy, like this Electra boss, and then some others were just terrible, like the Ronin boss or the Joe Fix-It boss, and the Cersei boss, and the Penny boss. Okay, most of these bosses with a lower roster they're tough. They're like really tough, right? But we get it done, and that's all that matters. And a big helping hand here was this questing bundle that I bought. I bought it like when I did uncollected event quests, because that gave me like 10 champion boosts that are 30% by the way, so they are pretty massive. It gave me a ton of team potions as well, and team revs, as well as some single revs and some single potions. So it was just a massive help here. And speaking of massive helps, look at this pull right here, man. A 6-star Magneto is a game changer. If I didn't have this 6-star Magneto, I would have been completely destroyed by the Ronin boss. The Ronin boss is, in my opinion, the hardest boss in 8.2. He is so annoying to deal with, and he has just the worst notes ever, man. It's rough. It really is rough. So this Ronin has Rising Sun, Be Like Water, and a base ability where per buff on the opponent, he gets a massive attack rating increase. So yeah, in my opinion, the hardest boss in 8.2 by far. The other ones are somewhat annoying, like Cersei and Penny Parker. Oh, Penny Parker was the worst, man, besides this Ronin boss. But yeah, the paths were not too bad for the most part. Some paths are super niche that required a very like out there counter, and I didn't have that counter, so it was just not fun in the slightest. For example, there was this one path in 8.2.5, I believe it was, that had this node where the opponent gets an armor up and all that, and so do you, but the opponent goes unblockable while they have an armor up active. So you want a nullifier, right? And my nullifiers are pretty much non-existent. I have the Hood, who is rank 1, but he just didn't do any work, so I had to use a rank 2 Diablo, and that is, you know, that's, I guess, fine, but yeah, it was pretty slow for sure. But Magneto here did so much work against this Ronin boss. Really proud of him. He got the job done for the most part. And that was a rank 1 Magneto, by the way, because I was Catalyst broke at this point, and I was also ISO broke. I just didn't have that many resources to use, so I just had to use the same 8 champions for the entirety of this exploration. It was not a good time, but we got it done, and that's all that matters. But now another 6-star crystal. I just want something that is really good and really general. Like, not Hercules, because that kind of just makes things not so fun, but like anyone that can just do a bunch of stuff. I don't know who that is exactly, but let's see what we get here. There is Shocker. Please give me Shocker, man. There he is again, please. But we get a 6-star version of Jabari Panther. That is fine. She is a pretty good champion. She has to cleanse her Bahamut, but I already have my Bahamut counter with Elsa Bloodstone, so not too fussed about that. And yeah, there is the roster, by the way. It looks decent, right? You got Cassie Lang, you got Diablo, you got OG Storm, Omega Sentinel, Sandman, Archangel, Elsa Bloodstone. But I was so nervous for this Cersei fight. I just didn't know what to do in the situation. So I was like, you know what? Let's just send this, man. Let's just buy this 5-star Awakening gem for my Cosmic Ghost Rider, because Cosmic Ghost Rider, when he's awakened, is a great counter to Cersei. So I was like, let's just do that, man. Why not? And yeah, there is my 5-star Ascended Cosmic Ghost Rider now awakened. And Cosmic Ghost Rider just wants Sig 1, so that's perfect. So I am now good to go. But I was like, you know what? Let's just try Archangel here. How bad can it be? And turns out Archangel is a great Cersei counter, which is fantastic, man. What can't this guy do, to be honest? He is so powerful. I feel like Archangel is the #1 champion on this account. I think he did the most work by far. If not him, then Sandman. Sandman just has pretty much everything in utility. Like, he has the immunities, he has the deceleration, he has the petrify, he has a ton of debuffs. He really just does have it all. And here's the best part, he is still getting buffed. So that's going to be a really, really fun thing. And here I just get folded by Cersei with the hood, who is supposed to be the main counter to that fight. So that is quite hilarious. And then here I get a good start, but then check this out. I just mess up big time, and yeah, the fight is now over. So Archangel was my best bet by far. Like, none of these guys were doing anything besides Archangel. So yeah, this fight was still pretty dang annoying. But yeah, we still get it down anyway. It was like 1 revive or 1 team rev, so it could have been worse. But here's the good thing about Act 8 Chapter 2. In Act 8 and like 7.2 onwards, the boss fights, you get to pick them. So you can pick the easiest boss fight for a majority of exploration and then just fight the other bosses one time only. So that was the game plan here, and the easiest boss for like each chapter really wasn't too bad. I think the hardest quest was probably Quest 5, because the choice was Cersei, Kitty Pryde, or Penny Parker. Now Cersei, you already saw how that went. Not fun in the slightest. Penny Parker was terrible, man. I didn't record it, but yeah, it was just not fun at all, man. It was the worst thing ever. It was like, I think, a team rev. Magneto did most of the work, and I'm telling you, man, if I didn't have that Magneto pull, I would have been done for. I would have been struggling so hard on like Ronin, Penny Parker, some other lanes in exploration. It was just terrible, man. Like, some of those fights are terrible without him. But yeah, Magneto is still just like a top 5 mutant. He's so overpowered. And Kitty Pryde wasn't too bad. Like, CGR did the fight pretty well. So did Archangel and Omega Sentinel. So I had the options for her for sure, but it was still like not fun. But this Massacre, I don't know, man. It's either or, I think. But this one wasn't too bad. I think it was the second easiest in this chapter. The Scorpion fight was by far the easiest boss, and the Morning Star was just so annoying, man. Did not like that boss in the slightest, for sure. But yeah, this wasn't too bad. He's almost down. Sandman just overpowered, doing a skill champion as a science character. You'll love to see it. And yeah, not too shabby there at all. But now it's time for the final Bahamut fight. This was the end of exploration. But yeah, overall, I would give this chapter like a 9 out of 10. I think it was pretty great. Some of the bosses are just really not friendly to progressing players, though, in my opinion, because they're just super annoying. But besides that, the paths were doable, which is the most important part. Some were niche, but other ones were just really fun to do. Like, the weapon lanes are so good, so props to Gaban for those. Before weapon lanes, it was Paradox. And Paradox is, in my opinion, the worst thing to ever happen to story content. Terrible, man. Paradox lanes were the worst. I know that they were manageable, but they were still just so annoying. Weapon lanes have no downsides, pretty much. They are just always fun. So yeah, weapon lanes 1,000 times better than Paradox lanes. And besides that, the other paths had a way to just cheese them. always, I guess, like pretty much anyway. So yeah, it just wasn't too bad, man. It was honestly a pretty fun time, and it was challenging with this account for sure, but the challenge was worth it in the end, because after this I get my 3 rank 4s and I get Paragon in 24 days, which I believe is a world record, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this Bahamut fight is going pretty well. I was hoping for a solo for this boss fight, and I do get it in the end, I believe. But here's the thing, I kind of went in with a different character and did like 3 damage to him. So I guess it isn't a solo technically, but it still is a pretty good attempt at him, because I did get him down from like 99% to 0%. But yeah, once you learn this boss fight, he is really, really fun. Like I said, my favorite boss fight is the 7.3 Kang, which is a hot take for sure, apparently. But yeah, I like the boss fight. But this guy and Scatalis are just so good as well. Boss fights are just the best thing in this game, in my opinion, and I cannot wait for the 8.3 one. It looks fantastic. But yeah, we are now in the final phase, and this is the last phase until we beat 8.2 and we get those really nice rewards. I think we get like 2 Nexus 6-star crystals, which is massive. That is potentially game-changing for this account. But I think the biggest challenge after this is to find a new direction for the account, right? Because after Paragon, I don't know what should be next for the account. So I have to think about that for sure. And I don't know what I want to do just yet. Like, even a week in advance, I just don't know what to do still. But we'll decide together, right? But yeah, he's almost down. 4% left. We are just in the final stretch of this. He's just going down really well. And this has been pretty much a solo so far. He's at 1%. Just one more combo and he is now down. And that is 8.2, 100%. So here I pick Mutant for Archangel because he is by far the biggest MVP on this account. So he deserves all the catalyst, man. He earned it, right? He was just so good for me for this entire run. So yeah, thank you, Archangel. You are going to rank 4. You have that locked in, man, because he just did way too much to not be rank 4, right? But now it's time for the crystal opening. And yeah, man, I was a bit nervous here for sure. We got some tier 6 class catalyst crystals. Let's see. A pretty even spread, so that's good. I'll take that. Let's see what else we have here. I just want to open the Nexus already because I am nervous with that. I am so nervous with it. Here we have 24 of these 25% crystals, and tier 5 class catalysts are still super rare for me, so I will take this, man. This is amazing for this account. But now I believe it is time for the 6-star Nexus crystals. Nervous, man. Nervous. Actually, no. First we have these crystals. Hopefully some mutant, but we get cosmic and we get mystic. That's fine. No big deal. But now it's time, I believe, right? What else could I have to open? I think it's time for it. Yeah, the slow approach. But here we go. The 6-star Nexus Hero crystals. Please, just something decent here, man. Give me a game changer. Give me someone who is just so worth it in the end. This is my reward for completing 8.2 100%, right? So this is massive. The first crystal, Sorcerer Supreme, Wiccan, and Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is fantastic, man. He is such a good champion, and he is so versatile as well. So he'll be good for pretty much anything. So yeah, an amazing first crystal. You'll love to see it. And yeah, 1 for 1 so far. Hopefully we can just get a good champion in the next crystal as well. But let's back out. Let's go back in. And let's pop this crystal, man. Let's just see how it goes. So, crystal number 2. I do the fake out for some reason. But now, crystal number 2. After like a quick pause here, I guess. Okay, crystal number 2 for real this time. Let's see. We get Icarus, Falcon, or Red Hulk. So Icarus is my probably 4th or 5th favorite champion in this game. So I pick him because I have to, pretty much. I just feel obligated to. So yeah, I will take Icarus. I love the guy so much. one of my favorite champions in this game. I still have to showcase him. It's been like a year now by this point, but he will get showcased soon. Don't worry about that. But yeah, that is 8.2 100%. In the next episode, I will do my Paragon rank ups because I pulled a champion that you wouldn't expect would go to rank 4. But more on that in the next video. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this 8.2 exploration. And yeah, that's about it for me.